That being said, we have the bet slips here, and right away things look weird. Right away, what's going on here? 1.52. What's going on?
Oh,
Okay,
we're evolving. Dare I say?
yeah. So me and Dominic actually aligned on a lot of our picks this week, and
Yeah,
we tend to, but this week it just felt like we were just. I mean, our
in each
brains were
other's
just.
brains. Yeah.
It's like the episode of SpongeBob, like we're like brothers, only closer. And their abdomens are like connected.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I'll start by going through the singles that we agreed on, and
Okay.
then I'll kick it to you. Okay. So we had a couple money line plays that we both agreed on. That's the 1.5 units for both Pollyanna Viana money line and Euros Medic money line. I was the one that put the point 0.5, so I'm going half a unit on both of those. It really comes down to I like both these fighters a lot, especially Euros Medic. I like him a
Yeah,
lot, and I
yeah.
still believe in him. But for him, especially, he's coming off a tough loss. It's a really tough loss. He got dominated by Jalen Turner. I don't see Omar Morales being able to do that to him here. Now, do I think Omar Morales can execute some sort of similar game plan and effectively take him down and look for a submission? Yes, I do think that's possible. But I like Euros Midik striking a lot. I think he's going to be looking to bounce back here in a big way. So I'm riding with him, but only half a unit for me. Dom went the full unit on all his this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I'm trying out some different unit sizes. I'm going to try to tinker with it more week by
Yeah.
week. But Polyana Viana, I like her, but again, that 3-fight losing streak in the middle of her UFC run has just kind of held me back from truly buying into her. She's a slight underdog here, plus 105. I don't really see it with Tabitha Ricci, but by the way, I'm not like completely sold on her. That's sort of where this comes in. I just think I've seen more out of Polyana Viana, and that's pretty much why I'm assuming Dom will kind of feel similar to a lot of my thoughts. Plus 125 for Euros Medic, plus 105 for Polyana Viana money line. Dominic, your next single.
Yeah, so my next single was it was a third money line pick. I went with Chase Hooper, the man I said I was most excited for. Maybe some betting bias was because of that. But seriously, I'm really curious to see after, a year off if he has evolved any, because I think that's his only way, sink or swim, man. You're in the UFC. So I want to see him show up. I believe in him enough to show up. Felipe hasn't showed a ton. He's had a decent run in the mill, back and forth wins and losses, and Chase Hooper much of the same. So I think it is going to be scrappy. I think it's going to be close. But coming in at plus 150, like there were a lot of dogs on this card that I would be willing to dabble in. And that's, those three right there on the top are three of those. So that's why I played them. Chase Hooper, hopefully you don't steer me wrong. I'm excited to see how he looks.
Yeah, and the next three are all mine, correct? The next
Yep.
three singles. So I'm going to stick with Chase Hooper. I'll talk about his first if you go under Michelle Pereira for a second. So Chase Hooper, Felipe Colares, I have that fight to go to distance at minus 135. Like you kind of said, Dom, both are very effective when they're on the ground. And I think both are going to be good enough to kind of basically cancel that out for one another. So you're probably going to get kind of a sloppy brawl here on the feet, or
Yeah.
at least for parts of the fight. We'll see if Chase Hooper or Colares, let's see if they can kind of take over. Maybe Colares will have too much of an advantage in the stand up to where Chase is kind of forced to look for those takedowns. And because of that, I don't really see either guy getting finished here. I think it's going to go to those judges' scorecards pretty easily. The other money line play I also had three money line plays. Very uncharacteristic for me. Michelle Vieira. A lot of people are avoiding this co-main event, and I get it. I get
Yeah.
why. I do get it. I mean, my partner here also avoided the co-main event. But Michelle Pereira, I'm just looking at what these guys have been doing for me lately. And sure, again, at his best, Santiago Ponzinibbio, I think, beats Michelle Pereira pretty handedly. But he is pretty much a shell of himself. And even if he's able to beat a guy like Miguel Baeza, who I will still stand by, was pretty good when he beat him. But, the losses are adding up. Li Jingliang via KO, and then he's getting, like that fight with Jeff Neal, I know it was a split decision, but I don't remember that fight inspiring a lot of confidence in either guy.
Right.
Michelle Pajera, though, I feel like each win is a step in the right direction. Like something looks a little more polished, or something looks a little bit stronger, cardio wise, even. Like in the fight with Nico Price, I thought he held up better down the stretch. Or I could be mistaken. Maybe he fell apart down the stretch. I don't know. What I'm saying is that I just think Michelle Pajera is just a stronger fighter right now, and I think the momentum swings in his favor, and I think he'll be confident here. Minus 120. I think if you lean hard either way, you got to throw something on it though. Like because a lot of people, like most, I would say most are pretty even on this fight, but I think if you feel strongly one way or another, you got to throw something on it.
Yeah, with those odds, you have to.
And the last one, Chidi and Jokuani and Dusko Todorovic, two guys that I've had interest in over my time doing this show. Chidi, of course, he's a guy that stuck out a lot from the Contender Series last year because he was already in his 30s, but he's also a guy who had fought for Bellator. Like he had been in Bellator main events before, had fought for LFA, finds his way here in the UFC in his 30s. Going up against Dusko Todorovic, who I always say looks like Sid from Toy Story.
Yep.
And early on looked like an electric striker, just really polished on the feet. Since then, he got smashed by Punahele Soriano.
Yeah.
And, got beat on the judges' scorecards by Gregory Rodriguez. He is coming off a win, but again, it's like starting to see a little bit more holes. His striking defense is really
that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
So here with Chidi being Chidi, I think his debut in the UFC was only like, I don't want to be mistaken.
Well, he's coming off of a 16-second knockout against Marc-Andre Barriault.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna say like 30-second. I couldn't remember. Yeah. So because of that, the dude is definitely pretty. He's pretty dangerous. Aggressive out the gate, dangerous out the gate. So I think someone here, the striking is going to be too good in this one to where I think someone's going down.
Yeah, I love that at minus 200. It kind of shows too because Chidi's won 3 in a row, all via KO TKO. Dusko's had 13 fights and 11 have not gone the distance. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I mean minus 200 again. You're not getting a ton. Like it's basically half your money. So
yeah,
you put down $100, you're going to win 50. Is kind
right.
of the evaluation there, but again, like if I had something else I really liked, I probably would have parlayed it, but I didn't. I told you guys if it's minus 200 or better, I'll consider it.
Right.
Now to the parlays, Dominic. This is where you get to dominate the conversation. You got 2 of the 3 parlays, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so I'll start with the one that's not so similar to Noah. So the minus 105 parlay there on the right side of the screen. I've got Elise Reed and Sam Hughes to go the distance, and then Njokuani and Todorovic to not go the distance. Noah single play, essentially. Man, we were just in sync this week. But I feel very confident in this one to come in at almost plus money. I think is a great deal. Reed and Hughes, I almost even went as far as taking Sam Hughes at the underline. I think she's plus 145 right now for those that are interested. She's with a better camp now, and I think it showed while she did struggle a little bit against Estela Nunez in her last one. She came on strong toward the end and finished great, and I think she's just very durable. Elise Reed won a split decision against Corey McKenna, but before that lost her UFC debut. I think it's just 2 women that are still looking to find their stride. I think they go tit for tat. Scrappy, but just neither are big finishers. I don't see that one getting finished. And then obviously copy paste what Noah said for Todorovic and Njokuani and what I added on at the end. I think that fight's going to be fireworks. I just don't quite know how long it's going to last. For the second parlay, it's going to be perfect because I'm going to segue and toss it right up for the alley-oop to Noah. We're starting with Holly Holm by KO, TKO, DQ, or decision. And then Jailton Almeida by finish. Listen, Holly, I think, is going to look really good in this fight again. She's a minus 240 favorite on the money line for a reason. Ketlin is a good challenge, but if Holly looks anything near what she did against Irene Aldana, I think she wins this fight smooth sailing. And we've seen Ketlin get knocked out by Irene Aldana. Holly Holm's a hell of a puncher and has some great kicks if she lands. It's potentially there for a knockout. And then Jailton Almeida, we've already talked about it in the rest portion of the episode. I'm excited to see what he looks like against Parker Porter. Parker's won 3 in a row, all by decision. Almeida doesn't know what a decision is. The only thing that worries me is that he is going to heavyweight against a true big boy heavyweight. But this dude's finished all 15 of his wins. I think he completes it again here. He's got all this hype behind him. He's taking pictures with Charles Oliveira during fight week. I'm feeling confident on that one. That's plus 125. Noah, take it away to tell us how you got the plus 227.
Yeah, I know. I went with the extra leg here, and I did my only other money line play that was a bit too much a favorite to do as a single. Jonathan Martinez. So, funny enough, I bet against. Well, I didn't bet against him. I think I bet for one of his. It was his last fight against Alejandro Perez. I bet for it to go under 2.5 rounds. And my intention in doing so was that I thought Perez might secure some sort of finish victory.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And I think I got to start respecting who Jonathan Martinez really is. I mean, he's on back-to-back wins. I remember he welcomed Zvayad Lazishvili to the UFC. I don't know if you remember him, but that was a guy, I think he was from Dagestan or somewhere like that. And thought there was some potential there, and he went in there and looked fantastic. Yeah, he's been knocked out by Davey Grant. He lost a split decision to Andre Ewell. But overall, in his UFC run, I mean, he's got wins over Thomas Almeida, Frankie Saez. I mean, really just, he's been around a lot longer than you would think. Like, his record is 6-3 in the UFC. And here, I got to start realizing this guy's actually really good and surprisingly, like, pretty well-rounded. He's got good kicks. He's good with the range. Like he's a pretty safe style, truthfully, that leads to him being pretty durable in fights. Yeah, he got knocked out by Davey Grant, but it's Davey Grant.
Yeah.
So because of that, I liked him here to finish off the parlay, plus 227.
2 units, by the way. What?
Oh, yeah.
Talk me through. Take me through your thought process. So you're so confident here to lay 2 units on a plus 227. Let us know why.
Well, yeah. So I am trying to play with my my unit sizes a little bit, and I was kind of looking around, and I'm like, okay, so where on here am I just like super confident? And it just kept coming back to this parlay, and I get it. There's a lot of room for error on here, right? But really, is there? I mean, really, the riskiest part of this, in my opinion, is the Jonathan Martinez one.
I think so, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was the biggest favorite of the odds I put on here. Holly Holm by KO TKO decision is minus 200.
Yeah.
Jailton Almeida by finish is minus 200. Jonathan Martinez moneyline, I believe when I put it in, was minus 220.
Yep.
So because of that, the sportsbook's telling me that's more of a lock, which I know that's not how I make decisions. But
yeah.
The strength of this parlay comes on the Holly Holm and Jailton Almeida plays for me. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm very confident in those two to win, and I think that's the only way to get it done. And Jonathan Martinez, I just felt strongly enough as a third leg to where I was like, all right, we're doubling down on this one. I looked at my other singles. Michelle Pereira, I considered, but I have a lot of respect for Ponzi, so I'm not gonna do that. I think the Njokuani Todorovic one is probably the one I should have put 2 units on, but it is what it is.
I like it. I respect it. Ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope we can keep some good momentum going from last week. Speaking for me, I mean, there was no Bellator card to add to this bet slip. As you guys know, Dominic kind of infamously shunned my Bellator picks last week at the 11th hour, and because of that, we had like plus 9 units that we could have put on our to inflate our numbers, but I couldn't do it because I didn't put it on the show. Like, I can't.
Loyal man. Fair man.
So, I mean, now Dominic, I think, learned his lesson. I think from now on he will not be shunning. He's lucky. He's lucky there was no Eagle FC odds on on DraftKings, because Dominic, Dominic is being a UFC homer. You guys got to attack him for it. No, I'm just kidding. Dominic literally told me last week, he's like, we can put him on if you want. I'm like, no, we can't. Like, we can't. There's no room on the. Well, because Dominic, when I said I'm like, hey, I had a couple Bellator plays you could put. He's like, there's no room on the.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room on the whatever
graphic.
The graphic, and I was like, well, fine. There's no room on the graphic, then I guess we won't. and then I just wouldn't take no for an answer.
But seriously, MMA better Noah here had a huge week last week. I mean, you went like plus 10 units positive for yourself personally.
Yeah, I mean that's true. It was well needed because I actually went through my entire history on DraftKings.
Oh boy.
And I made sure, like, I only did my bets, but I did the math because, I haven't been keeping track of a lot of other sports, and I stopped keeping track of MMA because it was making me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need a couple more weeks like that, and then I'll feel comfortable to like
A couple more 10 units, it's nothing, right?
and then hopefully I'll feel a little more comfortable. I mean, this is the guy that lost like $100 on Canelo Alvarez a couple weeks ago, so
It's fine.
We'll see.
If there's one thing you'll find on this show, it's transparency.
Transparency, consistency. But that's going to wrap it up for the below average bet slip. Make sure to let us know what picks you're playing, what sportsbook you're using. Is there any plays from us that you're picking up? Is there any that you're riding against? Let us know.
Fading us?
Yeah, you fading. Look at Dominic learning that vocab.
Woo.
Now, Dominic.